They fear that their partner does not love them enough. They fear that their partner would abandon them. Can be very, very clingy, obsessive, jealous in relationships.
I was looking at myself, I couldn't see my face, but deep down I knew it was true. Shadows handed me a question: if I ever lost you, what would I do? What would I do? Do-do-do-do. What would I do? Do-do-do-do.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamilerin and I'm an aspiring clinical psychologist. Now I do videos on real life applications to psychology. The aim of this channel is to educate, inspire and create awareness concerning mental issues in our society. So if you're interested in this type of content, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification button to know when I post a new video. So now, today we're going to be talking about the attachment styles in relationship. The attachment styles derive from the attachment theory. So I'm just going to give an overview of what the attachment theory is. Now, the attachment theory was introduced by Bowlby in the 1960s, and basically attachment is the bond and the relationship between a caregiver and an infant. The reason why an infant has to create an attachment or bond with a caregiver is because when you're born, the child is basically vulnerable. So the whole point of attachment is to be able to give a child security, protection and safety. So basically you're creating a safe base for the child to then be able to explore the outside world. The secure base that the caregiver builds for the child provides the environment for the child to build a sense of self, the capability to be able to depend on the caregiver and depend on themselves, and also the capability to be able to be vulnerable. So that is why the attachment process is very, very important. And according to Bowlby, the attachment process lasts from 0 to 3 or 0 to 5 years old. Now I'm going to go into the 4 attachment styles. So according to psychologists, there are 4 attachment styles when it comes to relationships. We have avoidant, anxious, fearful and secure attachment styles. I'm going to start by talking about the avoidant attachment styles. Now, people with this type of attachment, they have a huge fear of intimacy. So they find it difficult to be trusting of people, and they're very uncomfortable being vulnerable with their partner, to the extent of when their partner is emotional or their partner is getting deep with them, they might brush it off with sarcasm or with humor. So for people with this type of attachment, they kind of have like this wall up constantly. It's very, very difficult to get to know them, and it's very difficult for them to let people in. Now, reasons for why they have this type of behavior is because they have a huge fear of rejection. Now, according to psychology, people with this type of attachment style had parents who were emotionally unavailable or emotionally cold. So they've always had to kind of fend for themselves. They've kind of had to be their own superhero. They've had to depend on themselves. So it's very, very difficult for you to trust other people enough to let them in. My advice to people with this type of attachment is that when you're in a relationship, to try as much as possible to express how you feel to your partner, because for your partner, it's definitely not going to be easy dating a person who they feel they can't get through to. So you don't have to do it every day. You don't have to be, oh my God, I love you, but make a conscious effort that at least once in a while to express to your partner how you feel. Now I'm going to go to the next type of attachment style, and the next attachment style is the anxious attachment style. And people like this have a huge fear of abandonment. So they fear that their partner does not love them enough. They fear that their partner would abandon them. Can be very, very clingy, obsessive, jealous in relationship. You will hear people with this type of attachment say things like, oh, I can be whoever you want me to be, or I'll do anything for you to, in a way it might sound romantic, but you trying to change your core self to be able to keep a person in your life is definitely not healthy. According to psychologists, people with this type of attachment most likely lost a parent when they were younger, or they had parents who were very inconsistent. So their parents most likely were cold one day with them and warm another day. So it kind of left them with the feeling like their parents did not love them enough, which then is transferred to their romantic relationships, in which they also feel like their partner does not love them enough. My advice to people with this type of attachment is to find a skill that is all about you. So if you a skill that has nothing to do with your partner or with your friends, just something that you're just going to do for you. Now, the next type of attachment style is the fearful attachment style, and this constitutes 2% of our population. Now, the fearful attachment style is a combination of the avoidant type of attachment and the anxious type of attachment. People with this type of attachment are uncomfortable with getting close to people, but at the same time, they yearn and they desire for close relationships. So with them, it's kind of like a yin-yang type of relationship. It's like, yeah, I want to be close to people, but at the same time, I'm scared that people will reject me. Due to the fact that they really want to be close to people, but also on the other hand, they're very, very scared of rejection. They might tend to have violent outbursts and have anger issues. According to psychologists, people with this type of attachment style probably suffered trauma during their childhood. So they probably suffered childhood abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, some sort of abuse during childhood. My advice to people with this type of attachment is to get professional help to be able to deal with the trauma they suffered during their childhood. Now, going to the last attachment style. The last attachment style is the secure attachment style. Now, people with this attachment style, they have a good sense of self. They are very trusting of people. They are very comfortable being vulnerable with their partner. They are comfortable with depending on people and others depending on them. And I would say that the big difference between people with secure attachment and the other three type of attachment is that their relationship is not governed by fear. Now, with the other attachment style, there is fear of rejection and fear of abandonment. However, with the secure attachment, it's not like they are not scared of losing their partner, or it's not like they're not scared that the relationship might not work out, but they do not allow it to stop them from actually pursuing the relationship and enjoying the relationship. Another thing about people with secure attachment is that, as usual, in every relationship there is conflict. There is no relationship that is perfect. However, the difference between people with secure attachment and the other attachment is that when dealing with conflict, they know how to separate the situation. People with the other attachment style tend to see conflict as reliving their childhood. So they will say things like, oh, you're doing the things my ex-boyfriend used to do, or you're just going to abandon me like everybody else. But people with secure type of attachment know how to separate the situation. According to psychologists, people with this type of attachment had parents who were present, who were loving, who were trusting, and as I was saying earlier on, their parents created that secure base for them to explore the outside world. So they have high self-esteem, they know who they are, and so it's very, very easy for them to be trusting of others, to be able to depend on others, be vulnerable with others, and for others also to be vulnerable with them, and for others also to depend on them. So those are the 4 attachment styles that we have in relationship. If you want to know the attachment style that you have, I'm going to leave a link to a questionnaire down below. It's called The Experience in Close Relationships. You can fill out the questionnaire to find out what attachment style you have. If you have any other questions concerning attachment style, make sure you leave it in the comment section. If you have any questions concerning any other videos that you would like me to do, leave it in the comment section. So make sure you subscribe, like, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.